Is it working? I think it is working. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
It's just your little love bug.
If I hear you guys times 2, which means I got to turn.
Oh, but I can sneak
That
peek
off.
at all this stuff that's in here. Tell Henry to agree.
We heard and see you. Thanks, T Dwarf. Hello, everybody. Welcome to TTRP Theater. Excuse me. It's just the trio of us tonight.
It's the old school executive team.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow, I
And
haven't thought about that in a while.
No, I hadn't thought about that either. That's crazy. But you're right. That's exactly what it is. I'm still tweaking some of my sound here. Because I think the music sounds all right to them. If it's not, if it's too loud, then of course let me know. To me, it was loud as hell. But I only have like 3 volume knobs per every level. So.
They're too busy
It
trying
could
to
have
get
been either
raffle
one.
points right now, man.
What? Your raffle points?
They're too busy trying to do that. Now they say it's too soft.
If the music's too soft, you're... Wait, what?
Yeah. Oh my
That should be
God.
about
Oh.
right.
The days of me just trying to solve all of Curtis's problems while everybody else is playing and acting. Shut up and talk.
Shut up and talk. We're talking. We're also answering questions. I didn't know if anybody was doing anything. We're not playing tonight. I had thought about playing a game, but everybody had stuff to do, stuff they wanted to do. I've been sitting here trying to prepare for our 2-year anniversary. Most of the half of my hours all week long. So I thought I've been thinking about all of the Fridays that they've given me. And so I thought, if you need the night off, you want to see this, you want to go do that, then just go do it. It's no big deal. So here we are. But luckily, the executive team is the executive team for a reason. We have no lives to do anything on Friday nights. So we're here to do stuff with you guys.
No, I choose to do this with you.
I was gonna say I choose to do it with you. I really don't. I really don't have a life either, but I choose to be here.
Right.
Ooh, Cam, where did you get that pentagram pin emoji on the chat? That's rad.
That is Susu Pentagram.
I like that.
If you click the emote, it will. I think it tells you.
It showed me a lot of stuff.
That's what's this life thing you're talking about? Life. Let's not talk about life. That's a depressing subject. For me, it is at this particular moment. I don't know. Maybe these guys have got something good going on. Duke just recently opened a restaurant. Is that not a good thing?
Shut up.
Okay. Yeah. No shop talk, Duke said.
No shop talk. I don't want to talk about it.
Through an entire year of being a college admissions counselor. There you go. I got it for you.
Well, thank you for being here. I think my eyelash is my eyeball.
No, he's gonna cry because we're here, Duke. He just loves us that much.
It's true.
I might. So yeah, well, that was almost a really good segue. Speaking of crying, I'm not going to push it.
Oh, here it comes.
I'm not going to push it too much. It is coming.
Fucking turn my camera off.
It is coming.
I'll just get one of my wedges from the missed happy little faces that happened on Sunday that I wasn't here for.
Oh, you're killing me. I have a nice clip of the death of Sasha. I went back and was watching and rewatching and note-taking and brainstorming and whatnot, and saw that scene again. And there were so many little ironies that happened because of an event that began that I thought was just so interesting. A really unique part of the story that deserved a second look. For me, probably a 10th, 15th, or 20th look. But you guys will like it. And it's also with a follow-up piece at the end of it, of a little bit of aftermath as well. It started with me trying to put together, I was really going to put together a real tearjerker montage of clips of things that, flashbacks of little one-liners of Sasha saying stuff just from Beyond. And that's when I started thinking, man, I really wish I had a staff of people to do stuff for me, because it would take hours to sift through. I would, it's basically rewatch everything to find
days.
And those first shows, you know what I mean? When we were going 3 or 4 hours, man. I mean, and you think that you remember where it is, and so you get close, and then you're like, oh shit, I'm past it. Oh, is it 20 minutes back? Is it 37 minutes back? Yeah,
I know, and I don't even remember what all the good stuff is. So it would be basically watching every episode until I found 30 really cool seconds footage of Sasha footage.
It's why I stopped doing the recaps in the Renaissance City episodes to open it, because I was spending 10 hours, 8 hours just going back through. Oh God! And then trying to cut it all down into 3 minutes and 8 seconds or whatever.
Cutting,
I get it.
It triples it. Well, what do they say? Editing audio or video is like 8 hours for every 1 hour of editing that you know.
I wish I was that good.
Right. That's the pros. Yeah. Tell me about it. Been beating my head up against that stuff. But speaking of that, also I have Conflicts is done. I might have shown that tonight if I didn't have you guys here to help me kill time. I would have probably shown Conflicts, but if you haven't seen it, it's out. I of course hate it, as I do all of those, but take a look at it. And we've already been brainstorming some new stuff that I think we're going to kind of alter a little bit. Instead of just some regurgitation of chapters, we're going to do something with the archetypes. I've got Duke brainstorming, and you know what occurred to me last night, Duke, and I didn't have a chance to tell you this because I believe it was like 3 or 4 in the morning or something when it occurred to me. But I thought, why not do one on the tarot?
Yeah.
The KULT tarot, because I've been digging into the tarot a lot lately, because I'm going to start using it in some of our Manhattan games coming up. And I thought that would be really interesting. In fact, had we dabbled into that stuff tonight on the whim, I was going to use them tonight just as a practice, sort of as because you're supposed to be able to use them for the, what do you need next in your story? Draw a card, right? Yeah. And then it's the spooky way of doing that. So yeah, I've been looking at that. So I thought that would be a cool thing to do now too, as well as the archetypes. Is what Duke and I discussed doing next was.
Yeah, we want to do like 3 to 5 minute breakdowns of, simple ways and some good references that you can use for each of the KULT archetypes, whether it be the Avenger or the detective or the scientist or, whatever. I've been sporadically throughout the last 24 hours jotting down things when they come to my brain as I'm running around the casino.
I have new papers.
Ignoring someone yelling at you, oh wait, hold on, can you say that again? So
nobody yells at me.
This is all that's left of my post-its.
I believe that 1,000%.
Nobody yells at me.
Duke's a boss.
I told him that when I first got here today. I sang him a little song.
You did, totally. I was not watching the camera and doing some other things on a different page on my laptop, and all of a sudden I hear Erica's voice, and she's like, he's concentrating.
What's the cybersecurity?
Yeah, we got people learning how to be hackers so they can stop the hackers.
Oh,
Dope.
We have a hacker?
No, we're fine.
I lost
context. Dark Universe Project is saying that's what they're studying. Yeah.
Oh.
Cybersecurity, not just the hacking in general.
Yeah. Who is it? Mr. Smith on Penny for a Tale is in cybersecurity, which is why he's Mr. Smith.
Keeps his identity completely a secret in his little cosplay. It's pretty. I think it's clever.
I think so too. Cool. Go check it out over there. They've been doing a whole lot of shows. In fact, I'll just let you know, I've been working on a new daytime thing, and one of the daytime things I've been working on is I have been looking at the other streamers' stats who fall into the Dungeons and Dragons, tabletop role play, Twitch categories on Twitch, and looking at their stats and finding out which shows are the hot shows. So I'm going to pick a couple of those and do a weekly checkup, kind of Entertainment Weekly, as if you will, amongst the TTRPG streamers out there. I think that might be kind of fun to chit chat about. So I've been looking at the movers and shakers. And here's something, if you didn't know, just as an off topic, since we're just talking, and then I'll read T Dwarf's diatribe.
No, don't look at it.
Now I forgot what I was going to say. What was I saying?
No, something about a diatribe and
no. Before that,
you were talking about your e-entertainment show.
Yeah, movers and shakers. Oh, right. Yes, the ones at the top of the list, believe it or not, aside from, of course, Critical Role and Anomaly, which their season is coming to an end. It's been announced. So if you're a fan of those guys, that's an interesting little transition. But the leading TTRPG streamers out there with the most audience, I should say, hours viewed, currently are all foreign language, are all outside of the United States. I have to think globally sometimes, so I'm always us and we sort of mentality and trying to not do that. It's always from outsiders and folks live someplace else. No, like there was, I think there was a Portuguese one way up the top. I can't, I don't know them all, but they were all foreign language streams. I thought that was pretty flippin' cool. Huge audiences for that stuff out there. So I might actually start taking a look at some of those. I had looked at some of them before, and even though I don't understand exactly what they're saying, I kind of keep up with what's going on. So, Duke, I'm going to shut up and try to get this over to you guys and not look at Tidor's thing before I show the Sasha video. Why did you make that choice? That's the question I think everybody wants to know.
Well, I mean, how meta do you want me to get? That's you know what I mean? I don't know. Sasha has, as a character for a long time, and it started way back in the very first season. Sasha is this tough and overly protective person. He was in, he was traveling, he was wayfinding and was in the alley, and he saw himself and Harvey when they made their first trip in. And that's time travel, right? Essentially. And that seed has been in his mind ever since. So there's so many other avenues and limbs to that tree, to that story tree. And Sasha knew, standing in the face of the doctor at that point, that he didn't have an option. He had already given everything that he had, and he knew that all of his friends had already given everything that they had in the face of this thing, this voice of pain, this entity, this, and it's why Sasha just stood and was unresponsive and didn't even try to react, because he knew that one way or another he was going to die. He knew it.
Right.
Do you think
Was he going down when he was making the fall? You think he just kind of like closed his eyes, like this is it, or maybe not? If it happens, it happens. Is that like
in his own mind, it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't intentional. He didn't commit suicide. But as the player for the character, the choice to die instead of just take a grievous wound.
Right.
Firstly, as the player, I thought there's no way that I can have any more impact on this game than to make that choice, right? And we've all seen the impact that it's made on the game. And this is impact. That's a Freudian slip of words, I guess. So as a player, I wanted to make, you know what I mean? I wanted to make a dramatic impact. Sasha, as a character, he failed. You know what I mean? The dice chose as much as anything else. And yeah, I could have meta played it, but I'm sorry, you fall down a cliff face from 100 feet up. Guess what happens?
Yeah.
I mean, you might get lucky and you might just break your back and, 16 bones in your body. But you fall from 100 feet up on a cliff face down onto sharp, jagged rocks below. You die.
Brutal.
And this game is, KULT isn't about fuzzy bunnies and fucking daisies and, blowing bubblegum bubbles at each other across the room. That's not what this fucking game is about.
I don't know. I think Krista and I could find a way to make it.
Oh, no. We have found our way to do all of that within the game in our character relationships. Absolutely. We've created some,
you need to watch last week.
some wonderful and touching and very caring moments between each other. Some real relationships have been formed, by us playing this game together.
Yeah.
There's some awesome stuff going back and watching episodes coming.
Right. But at its heart, KULT is a horror game.
Yeah.
And I wanted it to be horrific. Yeah. And I think I succeeded.
Okay, no, you did good. And me, I could go anywhere with it. And sometimes I just go for weird or strange. And I don't always think scary horror. And so, I was blown back by it.
And I knew that it would catch everybody off guard.
Yeah.
I knew that it would. And it's funny because Austin and I, Austin was talking about it afterwards. And Austin was like, it's funny. I thought about doing the same thing.
Right.
If he would have had the chance, he thought about, making the choice for death for Jerry.
I tease about it every time. Take the easy way out. Oh, what is Zithar? He's got, wow, this puts you to shame, T-Dorf, whatever that garbage was you put there.
We're talking about cybersecurity.
This is part-wise true. You guys. All right. Well, Joel, Krista, or Erica, we had talked about doing a little prequel stuff tonight between you and Sasha. One of the things that made me kind of steer away from it, I didn't do any prep for it. I thought if we're going to do it, I'm just going to do it completely freeform, right? We're just going to pull it right out of the air. I wrote nothing down about
those are my favorite sessions
about doing anything like that. And then I decided it might just get too dark the wrong way. You know what I mean? Because I didn't know, but because you guys are old friends, right? And this is where I'm getting at with my question, with Joel and Sasha being old friends. I don't know. To bring back to the show, compared to how Harvey reacted, do you think Joel is there any sort of that emotional dynamic between Joel and Harvey where Joel might think you should be, Harvey was kind of like, obvious, like I'm the one who's supposed to be hurting the most right now. I mean, he did everything to say it, right?
Yeah.
And because of some circumstances that happened. And so I'm just curious as to Joel's opinion. Or are you guys like so copacetic, it's just like Harvey's just doing his thing.
So this is something that Jaylee and I actually talked about, because when Harvey, pulls the line in that episode that, everybody should leave except for me and Joel, and we're going to hang out here. And Joel kind of removed herself from the situation. There was a lot of things that had to go into that decision-making process for me. And it was being true to the character. One of which is her parents died by falling off of a cliff. So turning around and watching her best friend.
Also why he chose it.
Yeah, asshole. So like turning around and seeing your best friend mauled up by a cliff, like probably not the best for your mental health, and to hang out with it, probably not great.
Right.
And then there also was the thought process of, if there was anybody in the world that Joel looked up to and respected and had like the superhero, it was probably Sasha. Just really scary, turned into trees.
Sasha just went into the dark woods.
So there was the moment of now that Duke's character is removed, who's going to step in and fill the shoes of the guy who protects everybody and looks out for everybody and tries to make sure everybody's taken care of. And it was like, oh, well, that's kind of my job now, because I've looked up for Sasha. I've looked up to him for so long that, well, now it's kind of time to be the person he kind of was molding Joel to kind of be, in a way, by raising her but not raising her at the same time.
So are you going to try to fill a leadership position or a protector position?
It's kind of the protector position. She's always been kind of that way, to jump on board and always be like, okay, but the thing and the thing that I think Sasha and Joel always really connected on is they don't care what happens to them. They care what happens to everybody else.
Right.
Which for a while it was, Joel didn't care about what happened to anybody, including herself, including Blythe, including everybody around her, that she just jumped into the fight head first and didn't care. And now she's got bonds with these people the same way she would have if she would have been able to notice that Sasha was flying off a cliff.
Right. In the beginning, she had nothing to lose. Right.
Yeah. And now we've found this family together, and now there's a lot to lose. I hate those, because now he's just like, okay, right, now I'm gonna use that against you.
Yeah, that's why he asks these questions.
I'm actually not. And I was actually thinking to myself after asking that question, was like, they're gonna think that you're just fishing.
No, I know better.
No, we know.
I'm just a good moderator.
We would tell this stuff to you if you know what I mean.
Oh, I know. And I'm getting better at asking questions during the episodes anyway. So if there's something I really want to know, I'll ask a ridiculous question right in the middle of the game. Going back and listening also has been an excellent, it's like going back and watching yourself as an actor. Like, oh my God, why did you make that choice? You know what I mean? Why did you do that? Why did you say it like that? I find that stuff all over the place. And it's not just my natural obsession. There really is. But I've also watched seeing myself grow too. So that's pretty cool. And I am one of the most novice game masters in our assemblage of showrunners at TTRP Theater. So I'm not embarrassed by it at all. I don't know who you're talking about being completely trustworthy. Oh, Henry D. Green.
Henry D. Green.
Henry
Yes.
D. Green.
He is to be completely trusted.
Yes. Did everybody see the Henry D. Green insert in the How to Play KULT 2 conflicts? I thought that was my favorite part of the whole thing.
It made me smile.
It was.
Go back and watch it. Damn it.
It was the best. Yes, Henry D. Green does his legal definition. I mean, it's straight from the book, so I call that legal. Of conflict, what conflict is according to KULT core rules. so he does his thing, and then I put in a Henry D. Green stinger, basically. That's like a little bit of music and the yellow card, and he says, "What's it? What does it do?"
Henry D. Green, Esquire, at your service.
At your service. Yes. Oh, I loved it. I thought that's the perfect plug line for Henry's.
How did you make Henry D. Green so despisable but so likable at the exact same time, Duke? Because I absolutely love him as a character. As a player involved with Henry D. Green, I absolutely fucking hate him.
So, originally, like the original choices and inspirations for him, one is Dr. Gonzo from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. And I don't just mean Benicio del Toro's version in the movie. I mean literally the real Dr. Gonzo. He was Hunter S. Thompson's lawyer. He was so bizarre and interesting and shitty. And I mean, just so that was the first inspiration. And then the second inspiration is Doc Holliday, Val Kilmer's Doc Holliday from Tombstone. You know, I have tried to make him as eloquent and as despicable and as lovable and as fallible as possible. Yeah, he's a piece of shit. But
not in the middle though.
But not in the middle. Yeah.
Because I've pinned some questions to Duke. I don't know. He always ends up picking towards the light, I'll just say.
Yes.
I even asked you about it that one time. Something
yes.
About, so
no. I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, he does more often than not. He does what's best for him.
Right.
Yep.
What is that's? He's like, is that straight up neutral in D&D? On the alignment scale.
I mean, really, God, if we're going D&D, fuck, I don't even know where I'd put him.
Lawful,
neutral evil, maybe.
Neutral evil.
Yeah.
Maybe lawful evil.
No, he's definitely not lawful.
Like, who's the?
He's a lawyer, but he's not
the
lawful.
doctor in Lost in Space, and the one I always think of is the one that Gary Oldman played in the movie remake later on, which I thought Gary Oldman can't do wrong in my book, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I can't think of the doctor's name. What's the fucking doctor's name from Lost in Space? I can see the actor clear as fucking day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, kind of. Yeah, kind of. That's you know what I mean. That's a decent. If you know that reference, huh?
I don't know.
Someone said
Dr. Smith.
Yeah, kind of like you're my biggest enemy or the biggest pain in my ass, and you're about to die from a cliff, but it's a really sad way for you to go, and this is not how I'm gonna. All right, I'm gonna save your life, right? And he'll do something good, but it's always because there's something he wants at the end of it. Like, I need you alive right now for something else. So
right, where you know what I mean. It's not like Ernie. You know what I mean. It's a different. You know, Ernie has what's the right word for Dr. Kennedy?
Sorry, I can't even think about Dr. Kennedy now without Curtis implanting what he did last week.
Oh.
And I don't want to spoil it for Duke.
So. No. Go ahead. You're fine. You're not gonna hurt my feelings.
It's a huge spoiler, dude.
It's massive. It's absolutely massive. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Spoiler alert for anybody in the chat. We have Daddy Ernie on board. He is Papa Ernie in a sense.
Like Papa Smurf.
Kind of.
Like legit Papa.
There's some relationships from something that was discovered last week.
Interesting.
No, I can't think about I can't think about Ernie without giggling and just remembering Chris and I going, Daddy Ernie.
Yeah. It'll actually be really cool. You guys will love it once you figure out more bulk of some of everybody's backstory, especially his, with that in that same thing. So before we get too far off the subject of Sasha's death, let's go ahead and get that video out of the way. So that'll give me a chance to. These guys haven't seen it either, so I'm gonna click a couple things here. Just bear with me, and we will show that. So,
are we gonna go clear so that I can put on my phone and watch it, or do I need to watch it where?
No,
are you gonna play it for us?
They won't be able to see you. Yeah, I'm going to show it on the OBS virtual cam. And, let me change my sound here though for you, because that's a whole different ball of wax. But we tested that already, and the virtual camera like that. You guys can probably hear the music too. You will hear echoes if you guys start talking. All right. I think this is Sasha's death. So if you wanted to take a shot at something, however, I might make it not work, was the catch.
Is it that telekinesis?
I'm going to die.
Wow.
You don't have to die. You get to choose. When you roll less than a 9 on endure injury, it's the player's choice. So you can just take a serious wound from your fall.
Yell and thrust out my hand and attempt to use my telekinesis to stop her before she...
Yeah, I was working on getting to your sheet real quick here. So hang on to that for just a second, Blythe, because as you are falling going, dang, why these things, man, this is going to hurt.
Not work?
Right. In very slow motion. Harvey, for you...
I think I'll do the telekinesis to try to catch her. Like I said, I just like hold out my hand as if that'll stop her. It just feels instinctive, and I scream her name.
Yeah, you will get just enough juice in that to save her, so her injury is not as bad. You could just give up now, Blythe, and take death.
You like start to slow down, like you kind of jerk a little bit, and then
Yes. So you are awake, not unconscious. Saved you that.
So I will take the wound.
Why'd you
describe it? What kind of wound do you get? What happens? Where did you get hurt? Did you break something?
My elbow pretty bad.
Okay, she broke her arm.
There. Yeah.
No,
I landed with my arm under me, and you guys just hear the crunch of a broken bone, and my body kind
Did
of...
all of your clothes fall off?
I mean, I might still be wearing something.
That's
Who knows?
so Blythe.
Barely.
with the impact.
my skirt is like, it's like an upskirt, you know? Like, it's definitely, it's just showing everything. Bad anime style. My body just kind of crumbles there, and you just hear her groan like a dying animal. Very guttural and whiny.
I'm going to run down to Blythe as fast as I can. Climb down? Are there stairs? Is there I mean, I'm not jumping off of a 50-foot cliff to get down to her, but...
Right, now you can climb down. It's not a sheer cliff. Go ahead and make an act under pressure roll.
Hopefully I remember.
Man, you guys.
Not better than a 9.
No.
So this is how everyone dies.
I can't see a serious, terrible move other than the obvious one on your way down is that you're going to suffer the same fate as Blythe. It's not going to be as bad as the goldfish leap from the cliff up there. So it's not going to be as bad. So go ahead and roll endure injury -2 on this one just to make
sure I'm fucked up.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, you
I
guys
would say that I try to catch him, but I think with Blythe falling horribly, that distracts me. And then I hear Sasha land behind me.
with a thud.
Oh no.
Sasha
Her trips
sees Blythe
rolls.
plummet out of the sky and hears her scream, and I immediately turn myself over and begin trying to make my way down the side of this rock wall. I get maybe 10 feet down and my foot slips out and I fall tumbling end over end, and you hear the sickening crack of my head hit against the wall as I fall, and then I hit against the wall again and I fall to the ground and die.
You were just dead.
This went downhill really quickly.
Just break me at this point.
What you doing, Ernie?
I tortured that boy. He hated me for it.
Yeah, he sure did.
I can't blame him. You know that, Miss Watson?
Yeah. Look, Ernie, this can't be real, right? Like, there's something else we can do? Like, this isn't... Come on, you gotta give me something, man.
You know how hard we tried with Blythe. I don't know why she's back, but nothing I did helped.
Okay, so we find the doctor and we make him, bring him back, right? Like, he can do that? Maybe?
Like I would ever trust that creature to do anything as a favor to us.
So we pound his face in until he fucking does.
We tried that once, remember? Blythe ended up with a broken neck.
Fuck. What do we do? Ernie, come on, man. You can't give up. If you give up, then what am I supposed to do, huh? Roll over and take it like I did when... Just fuck it. Fine. Forget it.
Miss Watson. What would he want?
Fuck what he wants. I know what he wants. He'd say, it's
want us
fine.
to take care of Harvey. Mr. Winston's going to be the hardest hit of all of us. You know this.
Yeah. What if I'm not strong enough to do it?
Well, we're all here. We'll have to be each other's strength, won't we?
Yeah. Okay. All right. And Joel tries to put on a brave face, looks at Blythe, kind of stares at her for a second, studying the fact that she's standing here.
No, I'm leaving. I'm not sticking around. I'm going.
See, back to that. And then we'll change this right here. You can obviously tell I've watched that way too many times because I caught the rollover thing that Joel said during that very emotional scene. And I'm like going, oh, laughing about rollover. And I look up at Erica in Zoom and she's like, I was like, oh, Curtis, too soon.
Yeah, no, don't. I'm going to cry.
And I hadn't even realized that there was the moment there when Kennedy tells you that Harvey's going to be the hardest hit. Goes back to that other question. I hadn't even put that together yet.
Oh my God. Freaking Chris. I was totally fine. I was holding it together until Chris came in hot with his shit. And it was so good. And then I lost it. I lost everything. And I was like, oh no.
I've been lucky enough to play at tables with him for like the last 6 years. And there are a few people that I have ever played with that just... I mean, he is literally one of the most amazing actors I've ever worked with in my life.
It really is. He's somebody that you can trust in regards to the stage, because like, you know how he is. He will drop from frame, right? And be gone from my view for scenes, right? Until I get back to him, and then pop up, right? Which is awesome in and of itself. And then deliver gold out of the blue. You know what I mean? Like from out of nowhere, I'm thinking, you know, is he even into it? And then Erica's like, oh, so Ernie, yeah, what's going on? You know, and he's like, you know, and you just get the Oscar winning scene of the year, you know, when he's just like immediately talking about the absolute worst thing in our game, which was what Dr. Kennedy had done to Sasha. Well, maybe what the doctor did to Krista, but you know my point. Player to player, I think that was the worst that we had going. Wow, very powerful, good stuff. Are you excited to be Henry? And yeah. I have actually written some stuff for Sasha too.
Of course, it's fine.
Oh, our boy.
Death was only the beginning. Everybody had to know that Curtis couldn't just put him on a goddamn shelf.
Well, I think you would have a couple people very upset if you just left Sasha on his shelf, regardless of what Duke thinks or how Duke feels.
It's what I wanted. I wanted Sasha to be on a shelf for like fucking 12 or 15 episodes and just not anywhere. Just didn't see him.
Yeah, no, he'll be gone much longer than that. Especially now that she said, he's not going to come back in any comfortable amount of time.
Oh yeah, no.
No. But if he never made a reappearance, could you imagine what Jaylee and the rest of us would do?
What?
Get bad.
Right. What would you do?
Is that a
Get
challenge?
mad.
I said I had come up with some stuff. I didn't say we were going to play any of it.
Well, he at least had better get an honorable mention every now and again.
Well, you already have a glimpse of the end game, so you kind of have at least some outward opportunity, possibility that at least when we get to heaven, he'll be there waiting for us. Kind of goes that whole same divine.
Heaven is a fucking room full of zombies on typewriters. Yeah. Just so you know.
Yeah, we found that once, didn't we? And Ernie's been to hell, and it seemed actually not as bad as.
Oh, speaking of that's.
Oh, I can't wait to get into more of that.
Thank you, Erica. There is going to be some Ernie in Hell coming on the. I think we're going to put it on the same 2-week rotation, but I think I'm going to do this one Fridays instead, so it'll be kind of like a little long string strip warm up for Dr. Kennedy. Are you guys already wanting to watch Dr. Kennedy? We've got Dr. Kennedy episode 1 entry. I'm calling them entries because I'm thinking of
they're the prequels.
Yeah. This is the prequel to the prequel, entry number 1. And we have a question.
Pacho has a question.
Another Henry question. Henry's going to steal the show. I can tell you that. The Saul Goodman of the paranormal.
No. Henry is way more than that. Henry is more Walter White than he is Saul Goodman.
Beautiful. Saul Goodman wants to be Henry D. Green.
Yes.
I love that. Yeah. Kennedy in Hell, a dry sitcom horror. Kinda. The first two, here's how
there's not going to be much comedy in A Century in Inferno. I can assure you that. You want your comedy, go listen to Renaissance City.
Mike, yeah.
Give me the reins of a cult game, and I as a preview, go back and watch the session that I GM'd for the one shot. That's how I want to GM my cult games.
The only funny is going to be in these first two parts, which are still pieces that I did from way back in the day. This is the prelude, just to warm everybody up to the new stuff, which I have already started editing. It's going to be ready to go. We're going to be on a 2-week rotation. You're going to get this prelude, the prequel to a prequel, and then another one, or prelude to a prelude, and then the prelude, and then you're going to get the first original content with Duke and Chris Stone Cipher, all new stuff. Dr. Kennedy, A Century in Inferno. It's pretty cool. They've already done the first session, and it's only been my ass dragging that's kept them from getting into more sessions, but I'm sure they're both eager to do that. So that'll be really cool. And I've got the first one teed up, ready to go here. I haven't even dropped it on YouTube yet, which is what I'm going to do as soon as we get finished tonight, is I'm going over to YouTube and dropping it, so to speak, as they say in the business. So I'm going to be doing that.
As the kids on the streets are saying.
Yeah, that's what the kids on the street are saying. So if he is, when is Duke going to GM Cult? In about 3 weeks or so. Yeah,
so I'm GMing kind of a solo series with Chris. If you watched the first season of Manhattan, there is a whole episode about the Doctor. Well, there's actually several episodes about the Doctor, and the Doctor banishes, basically takes Blythe for 2 years, right, and tortures her for 2 years. But we learn that Ernie spent a century in Inferno, and so I have taken that seed, and we are going to create a show around that century in Inferno. And so I will be GMing that with Chris and some other guest stars.
It's going to be awesome. I've still been trying to figure out why I made that choice that particular night. Because it was but we knew.
It doesn't matter why you made that choice.
We knew at the end of that episode that was content. I think somebody mentioned it as soon as we got off stream, and we were.
We made like 35 memes in the next 24 hours about Ernie's Century in Inferno, dude. It was great.
Absolutely. And in regards to one-liners, there are some. I even, old Curtis, how he likes to do. You might even find a laugh track in this particular episode. So you never know what's going to happen. But it does have some new sound. These first ones aren't perfect because they are cut from an old episode, but these come from the first prelude is episode 17 of Manhattan, is when the actual fight with the Doctor occurred that sent Ernie to hell, as they say. And I guess we'll just go ahead and watch that here. Let me fix these guys' sound. Oh, sorry about I forgot that the
it was hilarious, dude.
That it was so funny. Was still rolling.
Curtis pushed the video to us, and there was this kind of 50s kind of bop going on in the back as we're watching Sasha die. Yeah.
And then, of course, we're giggling like two idiots. So.
Give them a camera to look at. Oh, and you guys can see it too. Isn't that cool? And
there's the question we'll answer when we get back, Erica.
Hi, my name's T. Murphy Triplet. I'm from the Shepherds of 1,000 Lives. It has taken me quite some time to put the pieces of this story together. And I don't even know how to describe what you will hear over I don't know how long this could take. It was, let's just get started, and I think you'll be able to keep up. I'll catch you at the top of the next entry, and if you have any questions, seek out my producers in the chat rooms over at the TTRP Theater Discord. I will clue you in on a little bit of stuff here in this first part. This first part is a story that was told by somebody else, but it's about how the doctor, who is kind of a key figure in this whole plotline, ambushed basically this group of people, of which Dr. Kennedy, Dr. Ernest Kennedy, that's an important name. I want you to write that down. It's going to be very important to this entire story. But anyways, here you go. Thanks.
Every day is a struggle. Every day is a trial. Every day is a failure. I have to walk another mile. I'll go wherever you go. Every day is a heartbeat. Every day another moan. Every day is a gallows. I can feel it in the bone. I'm alone. Take me home. As you make the bed, so you must lie.
Dr. Kennedy, the door to your lab swings open and another doctor comes through the door. This is Blythe's husband. He is a little bit bigger than you remember him, and as he steps through the front door and looks over all of you knowingly, and it comes in and he looked kind of his normal self, a little bit larger perhaps. His visage starts to just fade and melt away. Let's just say it's gory. A man with a floor-length skirt of leather adorned in chains and weapons of torture. The mid part of his body, from bottom half of his face down through his chest, his skin has been basically flayed and rolled down to expose muscle and sinew. However, it doesn't seem to really bother him. He has extended claws on one hand. The laboratory around you is not a laboratory, certainly not Dr. Kennedy's laboratory. As he moves closer, you realize now he's got to be 7 feet tall and probably 300 pounds of mass. He's huge. And he starts to move your way. And he's got, because that bottom half of his face is peeled back the way it is in a constant state of smile. And his head is still just locked on you, Sasha.
Ernie used the counter space next to him to get back to his feet. And he looks at the creature that was the doctor, and he just stares at him and says, "My goodness, Doctor, have you done something to your hair? Also, you seem somewhat taller than the last time I saw you."
His hand has already reached down and pulled this hook from his own waist, and he spins it in his hand so that it is hooked at himself. And starting at the top of his skull and splits the rest of that skin that's on the top of his head, and then continues to drag it down, and you see some of that meat peel away from the bone, and the cartilage sort of just pulls off with the hook, and he continues to split all the way down until he gets to his abdominal cavity, where it sort of just cuts open and his guts almost spill out. But for some reason, he didn't quite hook that thin membrane that lines the inside of your abdominal cavity. So his guts are still hidden behind this layer of very thin membrane, but the skin and whatever muscle tissue sort of peels away, exposing all of his chest bones and his sternum and then his guts. And about halfway through that process, after he passes his own mouth, you hear a laughter start to come up from inside of his chest as he continues to cut down and down and down, and the laughter gets louder and louder and louder. And when he stops, he quickly pulls that hook out and says, "You've started to find it in yourself." So then what you see is he brings that hook up in his one hand in the air, and as he goes to grab her neck, Harvey has jumped into the fray.
So I want to do two things. One of my things, of course, will be battlefield medicine, but I consider battlefield medicine my art, and I want to then use Snake Charmer on the doctor.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
I will ask the creature for something that I desire. In that, I want to ask him, what is his deal with Blythe? Good doctor, you seem quite particularly interested in this exceedingly young child. What, for the love of all that is potentially, at least, good in the world, is your fascination with her?
He stands up and turns around to face you and says, "Oh, Blythe has a power, and I will show you just what it is." And he has hook in air and starts to move for her again rather swiftly from across the room. And it's kind of like I will show you, Doctor, the answer to your questions, as
I'm going to need you to not.
Flying across the room.
And that's the second thing that I desire. I want him to stop fucking moving.
Stop him in his tracks for a moment, and he turns his head towards you.
Actions, sure. Words are what we have dealt with. I would say my friend, but I feel like that's far from accurate.
Dr. Kennedy, this is going to happen just as it has happened for the last 200 years, and I am done messing with you.
Blythe, go about your business. Let me deal with this.
Just observe as you always have, and you will once again see the answer to your questions.
Oh, I told Blythe to get the fuck out while I have him fucking stopped in one place. I don't know if she was paying any attention or not, but...
I'm gonna skeet.
You've got that moment, but the doctor knows what you're thinking, Dr. Kennedy, and I need you to avoid harm. Oh, you rolled the 11, Dr. Kennedy. You avoid the most of it. Just you don't even know what it is. Just a force comes at you. You assume from his eyes, or perhaps some sort of telekinetic force or something like that. He's on the opposite side of the room from everybody now, so he's kind of facing all of you. It doesn't seem to have any effect, and now he's moving his way back across the room towards Blythe. He takes both bullets in the chest. The impact of the bullet moves him just barely with the impact.
I want to get that hook out of his hands.
Could use Sasha to hit a motherfucker with another.
Okay, this is our
Hits the doctor, and it knocks him back. You can almost see the table kind of bend around him. Just barely. It kind of crinkles the table in the center, and it does move him, and he turns back around rather quickly, makes his move towards Harvey.
Says I can soothe an aggressive creature. I want to do that, and I just want to go up to him. I want to give him a hug. I want to hug him, but also I'm gonna roll something else. I'm gonna roll for ice cold. I want to go up. I want to hug him and just start whispering all the things she used to say to him, to make him feel good, to boost his ego, whatever, all that bullshit. And she wants to snatch his hook while she's doing that.
This all kind of happens rather quickly because you're going to have to move up on him. He's not really paying attention to you. He's paying attention to Harvey. He senses you, but he doesn't lose his focus on Harvey, and he'll turn his head toward Blythe. You notice that in his other hand, he's still reaching out to grab Harvey. Harvey, you get grabbed and lifted from the ground, and then he throws you straight into Joel, who is crumpled up on the floor. Harvey hits Joel. Sasha and Dr. Kennedy, you see Harvey hit Joel, and then the floor just sort of splits apart, and both of them vanish through the floor into blackness, and then the floor closes behind them.
Everyone else in the room sees that they are still there, but Sasha and I see that they are not actually there?
Correct.
Motherfucker.
If Blythe was to look over at this moment, she would see a pile of sleeping bodies.
Okay.
But you're looking at the doctor, and you have his attention as you come in and give him a hug. His open body is just oozing blood and goo and sticky stuff onto you as you press yourself up against him, and then you start to feel claws at your back. You
sense him clawing down through your clothes, just cutting them from your body and cutting into the skin of your back, down both shoulder blades.
I really thought that was going to send her over the edge, but no, it just fuels her rage, and she takes his hook and she does what she did the first time, and she's going for the neck.
Da, 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 da.
Ta-da!
I can't hear him. Can you hear him? Baby, come back. Your mic.
Your mic
Not too bad for the first round.
There he is.
There we go. Yeah, I said I already seen about 15 things I wanted to fix. When Duke was shaking his head no, I was thinking he was telling me no about the 15 things, which he would shake
That's
his
what
head.
I was saying.
Yeah.
But then he couldn't hear me, so he was
Nope, I totally heard you, and that's what I was saying.
He felt it in his soul.
So there's some abstract, you have to kind of put some things together on your own as far as imagery and what's going on. But it was kind of interesting trying to find stuff to piece back through these old episodes. And this next one where it continues with Blythe. Did you catch the little shing there at the end as she pulled the hook out? That was one of my favorite parts. But what did you think,
The
Erica?
laugh track.
I love the laugh track. I lost my shit at the laugh track. I was so happy. But the funny thing that I was thinking is I'm trying to piece back together, because it's been a hot minute since I've seen some of those episodes.
Yeah.
In a sitting, like I've gone back and watched like pieces here and there, and I'm digging for some story thing. But trying to put it all back together for my brain and like, okay, this was the timeline of actual events and this is what coincided with my actual life. I'm like, I got no fucking clue. I don't know what I was doing, where I was, who I was, what was going on.
In big context, if I remember correctly, because it's been a minute since I've watched the whole of episode 17, and old Curtis kind of goes off on some tangents sometimes, even in his storylines.
No.
So I think it was, it's close to the end. So it's about around the party time when you guys all went to the Flack Chatters building and you were going into Dr. Kennedy's laboratory. I'm not exactly sure how I had coaxed you in there off the top of my head. But then, of course, when you went in, it all changed.
Right.
So it was towards the end when you guys were trying to figure everything out. But quite honestly, I was kind of all over the place when I go back and watch some of them. So, yeah, I don't know exactly what the big scope of it was, but it was all coming to an end by 17. You had already started some enlightenment stuff, because I even mentioned that at the beginning of that particular episode. So that stuff had already started happening. And then I believe that the jazz is loud in my ear, because you were all at, I think it's Joel's place after the fight, because the fight ends, Kennedy goes to Inferno, but we didn't play out Kennedy Inferno. We just said Kennedy's Inferno, he comes back. And so then,
and he was 40 years younger or some shit, right?
Yeah.
There's the scene where he comes back into the room, basically had only been gone for you guys, like for a little while. And, everything had changed, which, by the way, this is a perfect plug moment as we get towards the end of this. I won't keep you guys forever tonight. The third piece of the prelude that I have cut out and put together for the Dr. Kennedy series is not going to go out with the regular thing. It is going to be the Patreon only piece of that particular prelude puzzle, prelude, whatever the word is, that's the right word, but it is.
It's all of those words together. It's the prequelude.
Yes, the prequelude, because it's actually after he was in Inferno. This particular scene, the scene when he came back, was so golden, I had to include it in the series. But it is not until after the Century and Inferno. So I've just clipped it as an aside. It's only like 5 minutes long. Not good enough. It wasn't long enough for a whole episode. So yeah, I'm going to throw that over on Patreon when the first new episode comes up, which will be in I'm going to do these every 2 weeks, so that'll be 4 weeks from now. So you're going to get the conclusion to this one in 2 weeks, and then the brand new one 2 weeks after that, and that will put Dr. Kennedy, A Century of Inferno, on the board. Thank the lords of the role-playing gods that is going, because
well, that means I need to schedule some sessions. Damn it. Okay.
Luckily, the episodes are short, easy to consume chunks of great material by our good old buddy Duke here. So with the session that I have, you've got plenty of time, especially if it's a 2-week rotation. What else is going on at the theater? Any new shows? There are some new shows coming up because in 2 weeks, I think, or roughly 2 weeks without looking at my calendar, is our 2-year anniversary. Can you believe it, guys? With you two, of all people, 2 years. That was the three of us. It was sitting on Erica's couch that this idea ever was even vocalized aloud. Yeah, I think that was her response then too.
No, I just didn't know what you were talking about then. And
she still only knows about 80% of it. That's all right.
I was in like, I am moving away from all of my found family and I hate my life, and Curtis brought over a graduation present for me and I wanted to cry a little bit, and then it turned into a 4-hour ordeal.
It was awesome.
Well, and you were never going to be on screen.
Yeah,
right?
And that was the whole plan back then, is I was there just to be the quote unquote stage manager, which is the only way Curtis could explain it to me that I would understand. And yeah.
Changed. And then we talked you into it.
Yeah. That was the hook.
You sure did.
That was the hook. In fact, I actually do have some coming attractions. I'm going to stall here just a little bit and let Duke take over the conversation.
Well, we had a couple questions
while I load these up.
When the first, I think it was Ipacho that asked, Erica, when are you going to GM?
Okay. That's a wonderful question that I have no answer for. Because here's the thing. We've been doing this for almost 2 years. We're right there. I had heard of the term Dungeons and Dragons, but until that conversation about 2 years ago, I had no flipping clue what it was. So I have been the one not necessarily stumbling. I've had lots and lots and lots of help, but just figuring out how this entire thing works. I have tried my hand at writing a little bit. I lost steam on that very quickly because I just simply ran out of ideas. So maybe sometime. I just don't know when that sometime would be.
So what we need to do is you need to get a seed for an idea and you need to tell me what it is. And then we'll find a game that will work with that seed for an idea. And then I will force you through pestering and just sheer willpower into GMing a one-shot session. And we'll start with that.
Okay. That's less scary.
Awesome.
And you can take as much time as you need. I'm not saying it's going to be by the end of summer.
That's been the fun part about this whole process is it's been me being very reluctant to do anything, and Duke and Curtis just being like, no, come on.
Magical kittens rescue the world.
Yeah, totally.
That's the one I want to play.
Yeah.
Speaking of fun games,
we should get back to Lasers and Feelings.
It's funny. He's probably getting ready to say that right now.
You just said that. I have some Lasers and Feelings bonus content that's going to be going up on Patreon next week. I also have a 1-year anniversary coming up pretty soon. And although I hadn't posed this question to my Friday night crew as to what they wanted to do on Friday night, technically our anniversary is on Sunday night, so the official streams for the anniversary that night is going to be Wrath and Tears, which makes me fucking Proud and Happy Little Faces are both going to be on anniversary day. So
Aww.
I wasn't going to move any of that around. Saturday night is still open, or Saturday or any other time if they wanted to do something extra and still get some KULT in. But if Duke had a story in his pocket and wanted to GM a Lasers and Feelings, we could do a Lasers and Feelings in 2 weeks.
On that Saturday?
I would, yeah. Or well, on the Friday, because that's the only, I hadn't given this to my players yet. I didn't think I'd be able to get 2 nights out of them in a row, but you never know. So, I was more concerned about that. And then, of course, you on the whim being able to do Lasers and Feelings. I have a couple of ideas if you weren't going to have one, but
now that you've planted the seed, sir, I'll figure it out.
Figure
Yes,
something out. Outstanding.
I would love to do it.
So that might happen on our anniversary. It's kind of like almost a tradition now, didn't we? I actually was looking at it on YouTube just yesterday. In fact, the 1 year anniversary special was the streamed version. We had played a Lasers and Feelings unstreamed.
Right at the start of COVID, I was living in a hotel by myself in California after having moved 2,000 miles, and I was lonely, and I was just like, hey, can you guys play with me, please? Will everybody help me fill my time so I'm not totally depressed and crying by myself in this hotel that nobody's at with the job that I just got, and the whole place closed down a week after I got here? Can somebody please play a game with me? And they did. God. And it was so fun. Oh my God. We laughed. Oh my God. We laughed so hard.
Those characters are absolutely ridiculous and I love it.
Awesome. Epacho, I would love to see that too. An all girls Bluebeard's Bride. It's the only reason we haven't done a Bluebeard's Bride. I told that to Duke months ago that's how we needed to do it. Hey, you put a team together, Epacho. I will stream it. That's what it's all about. Duke knows, like, you get a show, put it together for Curtis, and he'll put you on. That's what I do. As far as me painting my face on Happy Little Faces, that's probably not going to happen. But I am always there.
Out with us, though. You should come in and full just hang out.
I might, but I have some other little specials. I'm waiting for you guys to get your feet, and I'm not going to start stealing the show just yet. So you guys, I'm letting you do your thing for a while. It's only like the 3rd or 4th show. So that's
Krista has Renfest this weekend, so there won't be a Happy Little Faces this Sunday.
Thank you.
Because she's got Renfest, but I'm sure we'll get some amazing pictures of her cosplay, because holy shit, the stuff she sent us so far is just so rad.
Beautiful.
That staff that she made is so fucking cool.
It's so dope.
Yeah.
Her little crown thing. Oh, it's wonderful. She's amazing.
There will be some.
I love her so
Mr.
much.
Cultist, you got it. I am going to be doing some body paint. I'll probably do that on my own stream. I'm going to do some body paint and poker and marbles all at the same time. It's going to be absolutely awesome. It really is. Okay, so before we get out of here, I want to show these two. I was so good just in that little blurb that you guys were talking. I was able to queue up 2 different videos ready to go. So you guys haven't seen these either. Matter of fact, I just told Adam about 3 o'clock this morning that they even existed. So let me pull.
Are these the new teasers?
Yeah, they're just teasers, but they're pretty cool for what they are, I think.
I haven't even seen these yet.
No, I'm trying to fix this sound so you guys can hear them, because it's very important, because one of them is for Sagittarius. There we go. And if you're going to listen to Star Trek, well, you got to have, well, you know what I'm talking about. The OBS virtual camera. Here we go.
Yes, love it.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, those are great.
Space, the final frontier.
Like that. Well, yeah. Actually, Adam had picked out the music because I said, I told him where I get our music from. So he was very what's the word I'm looking for, Duke? I'm missing it. It's a self-starter.
He took the initiative.
Yes, took the initiative and fished it out. I had found one that I thought was pretty good, but when I heard that, I was like, this is so close to a Star Trek. Yeah. I was almost afraid to use it and put it with the Star Trek thing because I thought, oh my God, this is like this is too good. So
we're gonna get fucked on copyright.
Yeah, nah, we're golden.
We're good.
I loved it. Yeah, I didn't have to do a whole lot, and then I found that really cool Sagittarius emblem. That's actually the constellation of Sagittarius in that little gold thing. For those of you who didn't know, one did, one didn't. Good. I'm batting 50-50. I love it. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I'm very excited about those. Those are both starting. Adam's show will be the first one to kick off our third year basically that week, because that's also when Vengeance in Valdery begins. And if you don't know what Valdery is, you need to go look it up because I didn't know what it is. And if you try to look it up in the thesaurus thing, it's not going to show up. It's a Vampire the Masquerade word. I didn't know. I'm learning things as I go along in this world of TTRPGs. Yeah, so go look what Voldery is. Quite interesting. It led off into a rabbit hole that cost me a good hour and a half of time. That's how much I love that stuff. I was hoping to eat up some Duke time. I sent him some old KULT core book stuff, thinking that I might be able to keep him from sleeping last night, but I don't know if I did any good or not.
I dove into it, but I was really more worried about finishing up the Scarlet Spartan solo episode. I was so close to being done that I was like, I'm not sleeping till I finish this.
I know how that feels. You did good. I saw it. Send it to me. Now you're just going to have to remind me every day not to post the goddamn thing.
Yeah, don't post the damn thing until it's time to post the damn thing, please. Thank you. I love you.
That was all supposed to be queued up. I have no idea why
You just clicked the wrong Tuesday.
Yes, I guess that's what it was, wasn't it? Amazing. So yes, those shows are coming. I'm very excited about this next year. I was excited about this year, and boy, oh boy, has year two not disappointed in any way. It brought us all the good and all of the bad. Every hard thing that we could have gone through, we went through it and we survived it. And I think we've got stronger because of it. And all of the good stuff just got better. So I can't wait for year three. We picked up the Vampire Interpreter, who is joined us in chat right now. I see he's joined the crowd. A great addition to our family. Him and Mark, who is getting ready to put together Downtown Dreaming. I'm working on that teaser this weekend, so I don't have that one tonight. I have bits and pieces of it, music and imagery and stuff, but nothing that was coherent enough that I could slap together for you guys this evening. I wanted to. I really did. So that's coming very soon. You're going to get a little tease on that. So 3 great new shows coming. I'm going to be twisting up our Friday night show a little bit to give these guys a little bit of break from time to time and bring a couple of new people in, I think. Some fresh faces to our Friday night show. But I will always be running strong with my guerrilla role players out there. On Fridays. Did you see my little gorilla thing that I come up with?
I did. It was absolutely beautiful, and it makes me smile every time.
A whole theme of stuff that I'm just like, if Duke knows I have more than one, and I've only put out one, he knows.
Right. There's 63 mores out there. For anybody that doesn't know, the gorillas, the initial group here at TTRP Theater, Curtis, Jaylee, Erica, myself. Who else was in that show?
Austin,
Olivia, Rashid, Jaylee. I said Jaylee. We all come from a small university in Southeast Kansas called Pittsburgh State University, and we were all theater alumni. And I came in, I'd been graduated for several years, but I have been tied to that program since 1997. And I came in and we did Noises Off together and we all just clicked. I didn't know Erica before then. I didn't know Curtis before then. I knew Austin. I had worked with Austin. I had worked with Jaylee. But yeah, I mean, and it just, and anyway, the gorilla thing is the university's mascot is the gorilla. So we are all gorillas at heart.
People go crazy over that mascot,
It's
and
weird.
it still cracks me up to this day. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, like everywhere in town when you drive through Pittsburgh, Kansas, there's a concrete gorilla somewhere every 2 blocks. I mean, it's just hanging out. Yeah, in some form or another. It's everywhere. But anyway, so we're the gorillas.
It's gorilla.
Gorilla.
Is how we do it. Yeah, the gorillas. And I always thought Pittsburgh was odd just because they had the gorillas, and then the high school mascot was the Purple Dragons, which is a cool mascot. But Pittsburgh, Kansas, Purple Dragon. I don't really know.
Wildly, yeah, they're so wildly unique and specific.
Yeah. Let's call it the Purple Dragons. All right, fine. Let's get on with it. We got bigger things to do. There's
monkey
corn
business.
to bring in.
Yeah, everything we do is just monkey business now.
Yes. Let's see. I think I've plugged everything. I don't have anything left to talk about as far as this stuff goes without getting into a whole bunch of spoilers and stuff. Duke, you need to go back and watch that last episode.
Yes, I do. I will do that. I will start it tomorrow. Why would I hate you?
Oh, well.
Trust me.
There's a lot that flew off the cusp.
Good. That's how I want to play the game.
It was awesome. It was a great time.
So much fun.
Yeah. Erica, did I miss anything? Oh, Izzy, Discord. Every time I think of Erica, I think Izzy, Discord. I don't know why, but it does.
Because Izzy took over my job of reminding everybody to go to the Discord, which is great. It makes me smile to know that he came in and just was like, this is my job now.
Yeah. And speaking of taking over jobs, because I don't give enough credit for this, I've tried to say it every chance I get to them when I do. I know I've sent Adam a few messages, but Adam and Mark have both kind of also taken up the Instagram and Twitter sphere. I think even a little bit of Facebook, maybe. I don't know. I've had to I went and logged into Facebook the other day and had 42 alerts or something. So it's been a minute since I'd gone and looked, which means that was a whole lot of stress and time that I had saved myself, which was wonderful. It was almost exhilarating sort of feeling to see those alerts that I had not spent, because I'm just so anti-social media right now. It's unbelievable. Only because it's destroying our country, but that's a whole nother topic that I won't get into. But okay, so did I cover everything? Did you guys get to say everything that you wanted to say tonight? Thank you, Adam and Mark, for doing the social media stuff.
Think hard about it.
Can I shoot this motherfucker?
Yes.
This is where we say good night, sweet dreams. We love you.
Good night.
Good night,
sweet dreams.
And we love you.
Yeah, good night, sweet dreams. We love you.
Thanks, everybody.
Can I shoot that motherfucker?